about Kuan Yew or with Kuan Yew talking to the people, I get inspired. I get more knowledgeable. If there is one person that the world has recognized as someone who was really smart, as someone, even though many consider as an authoritarian, did what was necessary, not for himself, but for the country at large. That individual was Lee Kuan Yew, the father of Singapore. To say the least, he wasn't like the ordinary Joe. He wasn't like one of those people who were friendly. He laughed and joked when necessary, and he punished severely when necessary. He ruled Singapore with an iron fist, and anyone who challenged him was in for a long ride. He said it himself. If you are going to challenge me, you better be ready because I am going to crush you. I will crush you if you're not prepared. So if you're going to challenge me, get yourself ready. He said it. And being all that, with all the authoritarianism or with all what people say about him, he did a wonderful job for Singapore. He totally transformed Singapore. He totally transformed Singapore. We have dictators in Africa. We have leaders in Africa that you cannot challenge them. You cannot even begin to think about challenging them because you know what will happen to you. We have them. If only they built the country. I have always said this. In as much as I love the concept of democracy, in as much as I believe that it's one of the best systems, one of the best political systems, in as much as I believe that if a country practices democracy, they might be or they will be better off. I also think that being an authoritarian, be a tyrant, or being a dictator doesn't mean that you cannot fix the country. Doesn't necessarily mean that the country goes broke. Doesn't mean that everybody in that country get to suffer. Take, for example, communist China. With all their toughness on the people, with all their rules and regulations on what we can do and not do. They have built the country. If you've been to China, you've seen their bridges, their roads, their buildings, their cities. You will envy China. If you've been to Singapore and you've seen what Lee Kuan Yew did for Singapore, you will be so amazed. Then you go to Africa, you meet leaders who've been there for 30, 40 years, and yet still you cannot find anything that you can really appreciate them for. You ask yourself, why Africa? Why Africa? And I have always tried to draw this comparison, right? Some countries in Asia, mostly in Southeast Asia, were also colonized by the British and the French. But somehow, they are far more better than most countries in Africa. For example, Cambodia was also colonized, right? Vietnam was colonized, I think, by the French. Singapore by the British. Indonesia by the British. Okay? I think even Malaysia by the British. But yet still, have you seen those countries? Have you seen them? They are far gone. They are they are far more advanced than most African countries. If you go to Central Africa or West Africa, you see countries that were colonized or countries that are practicing the so called democracy, countries that have been independent for like 60 plus years. They are still struggling to move along. You ask yourself, why? 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 It's a really sad situation, my brothers and sisters. It's really, really sad. But you guys out there, let us know your thoughts and opinions about Lee Kuan Yew, the father of Singapore. Do you think that he did a fantastic job for Singapore and for Singaporeans? And should African leaders follow in his footsteps? Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below. Because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Because little bit of good will, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot. I shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.